welcome to another episode of Convention Confessional. My name is Katy Hunt, and I'm here to guide you through the good, the bad, and the ugly of the convention world. And sometimes I do it with a little help from my friends. And, our next guest, it's Melissa. She's back. Hi, Melissa.
Hey.
And before we started recording, like literally 20 seconds ago, we were just talking about how, one, this is my podcast and I can do what I want. And two, Halloween technically starts as soon as Spirit Halloween opens, which is, the last week of August usually?
Yeah, something. I have yet to find a Spirit Halloween, and there's a lot of empty stores around me, so I'm confused.
I can hit like 2 with a rock where I am. It's very convenient. But yeah, it's like it's Halloween season to me. Like I've already got like spooky stuff in my room. And I'm ready for Halloween. So I've decided that all of my Halloween shows and stuff are going to start like right now because damn it all, I'll do what I want.
Hell yeah.
And the reason that I'm going to do what I want is because this morning I got an email from Melissa, who was on our show a couple of months ago now. And the email, I'm going to read the email because it was quite the thing to wake up to this morning. And I'm so happy about it. It's like, hi, Katy. I was talking with my roommate about con stories, and I told him one I think would be great for Convention Confessional. How about a story about a high school convention that went into lockdown because someone got stabbed?
I think that's a good attention-getting email if I do say so myself. On back.
I mean, like, who the hell am I to pass up an opportunity? It's like that meme from Rick and Morty where I'm like, you sick son of a bitch, I'm in.
Hell yeah. Let's roll.
Let's do this. So wait, was it your high school?
No, okay, so there was, so for anybody who hasn't, listened to the episode that I did before, hi, I'm Melissa, I draw things, and also, I'm originally from California, but now I live in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts!
So, yeah!
Massachusetts! Spoopy Nation!
Heck yeah!
Heck yeah!
Gotta get my Salem trip in before October, because I made the mistake of going to Salem in October. It was like a Tuesday morning, October.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It was insane. I was like, never doing that again. I didn't even get out of the car. I drove around near Essex Street and was just like the amount of traffic and everything. I was like, oh hell no. So we just went to Proctor's Ledge to look at the Salem Witch Trials Memorial, and it's like nobody goes to that because they think like, oh, the Salem Witch Trial Museum in Essex Street, but it's like the actual memorial is behind a Walgreens.
Yep.
So that's what we went to visit because nobody was there. So yeah, I did most of my convention stuff in California for the longest time. I've been doing this for over a decade, and I got my start in California. So I did a lot of shows. I did some big shows like Fanime and WonderCon and stuff like that. But I would also do like the super dinky shows. And there was this dinky show that I loved going to. And unfortunately, I don't think that they're still around anymore because of
someone got stabbed at it.
Actually, it went on for a couple of years after the stabbing thing.
Wasn't enough.
Yeah. So, but because of the panini that struck, and it's a show that's put on by a high school. The school wasn't open for like a long time, so they didn't have the chance to put the show on. So the convention was this, it was called AsaiCon, and it was put on by the anime club at Antioch High School in Antioch, California.
Sure.
And I'd been doing that show for years because these high schoolers put on a real good show. Like, Little High School Anime Club put on a show that I would prefer going to over SAC Anime. It was yeah, it was insane.
Well, I feel like you would go over anything at SAC besides SAC Anime at this point.
Yeah. Well, hilariously, SAC Anime was just this past weekend, so all my friends are posting pictures up, and I'm like, I wonder if they've changed. Probably not, but my friends look like they had fun, so good for them.
Good for them.
Yeah, so I think this was oh god, I think this was 2015. So this was, I'm pretty sure, AsaiCon 2015. I had a table at this show, but I was also doing panels with a friend that was also exhibiting there. So we do panels on like how to make comics and like finish a project and stuff like that. And
Sure.
so we were doing two panels, and they just happened to be back to back. So our panels were in a classroom off the site, because this is actually held at the Antioch High School. So the artist alley slash dealer's room was in the library, and the hallway connected to the library. And then the panels were in different classrooms, and like the video game area was in the auditorium where they host like assemblies and stuff like that. So people got to play Super Smash Bros. On like a huge like movie theater sized screen with a projector. And so my friend and I had just finished our first panel, and we were starting to set up for the second panel. Mm-hmm. And so we're just doing our thing, chilling, and somebody bursts into the door, and they're like, "Lock down the room. Somebody got stabbed." And we're like, "What?"
What?
So
what?
So oh, no. Yeah, it's like, wow, that's a great thing to hear, like in between panels. You know, usually it's like, hey, you've got like 10 minutes until you start, but no, this one was, hey, lock the room down because somebody got stabbed. And we're like, oh, okay. So slight tangent, my dad raised me and my siblings to be let's see, he is a gun-toting redneck American. So I
understand. So, my grandfather is also.
Yeah, so me and my siblings were raised with a healthy sense of, if something goes wrong, you get into prepared mode. So I instantly go like, okay, so first thing we got to do is we got to make sure the door is locked. We got to close the blinds because we don't want anybody to be able to look in. What can we use in here as a weapon? It's Antioch, so I do not come here without a knife. So I have my pocket knife in my my pocket, just because, you know, you never know when you need to open something, or, you know,
stab somebody else.
Yeah, stab somebody else. So
it reminds me of Phoebe in that episode of Friends, where she goes, "Oh, I'll tell you about the guy, you know, like, tell you the story about the time I stabbed a guy." And they're like, "Wait, you stabbed a guy? He stabbed me first!"
Yeah, so I don't want to get stabbed, so yeah. I'm going to take as many precautions as I can to make sure I don't get stabbed. Sure. So first thing I do is I go over by the front door that somebody just came in and then ran out. And so I'm looking around to see like what's going on, and like everybody is running to the main area of the convention, which is in the library. And so I'm like motioning people to come into the room who are close by. And I'm like, yeah, you can hide out in here. You can hide out in here. And then while everybody else is running away or running into our room, there's this person on crutches with their leg in a brace, and who I assume is either their elderly dad or their grandpa. And these two were they were standing at a lumpia and hot dog salesperson, and I don't know what was said, but from what I could see and using my my brain to just put in some fun dialogue, what it looked like was the dad had bought corn dogs or lumpia or something, mm-hmm. and had already paid the guy when the announcement that somebody got stabbed happened. And so the lumpia guy's like trying to pack up to go in the other room, or just to get out of the area. And the dad's like, wait, I paid you for the lumpia and the corn dogs. I want my lumpia and corn dogs. while his kid in the crutches is just kind of like, we gotta go someplace. And by this point, the entire area had been cleared out, except for these guys. So I motioned them to come to our room because they were close enough. So they come into our room and we close and lock everything up. And we didn't actually, I don't think we got to lock the door because the high school doors, you need like a special key to lock them or anything. So
Right.
we just kept like there were 2 doors and 2 windows. So like I took a door, and my friend, who was just as paranoid and looking for somebody to give her an excuse to just let all those years of aggression just come out in one go. She took the other door. And so we just kind of told everybody, like, okay, so yeah, we just gotta, most of you are school age people, so you remember those lockdown drills. Just keep quiet, stay away from the windows, and if anybody is dumb enough to come into this room, they're gonna have a very bad time. And so the person who had the crutches and their who I'm just gonna keep referring as their dad, they hand a crutch to their dad, and they're both they're ready to go. And
Did they get their food?
They got their food, so he did get his lumpia before he came into the room.
Priorities.
So, yes, priorities. And so we're all just kind of sitting in the room and just like, so yeah, how's everybody doing? Cool. Yeah, how's the con? And we were in the room for about 15-20 minutes before somebody came and knocked on the door. Also, I gotta say, very smart that they knocked on the door and didn't just try to barge in.
Sure.
Because there was about 8 of us in this room, and all 8 of us were ready to throw down.
Yeah.
So
can you imagine? Hi guys, I'm just going. Oh Jesus
Christ! Cue the music from Office Space when they're crushing the printer, the fax machine.
Exactly.
And so I think it was one of the teachers, because this was an event that was completely put on by the high school's anime club, and they would have volunteer teachers. So this was a staff and student put together thing. And so a teacher came to the room and said they knocked on the door and said that they were a staff, and that they're coming in to clear out the classrooms where people were, to bring them to the main area in the library. And so we're like, okay, guys, let's do formation. So my friend Erica, who was with me, she took the front and I took the back, and we're just like, we're moving quickly and also like keeping our head on a swivel just in case something, because we have no idea what's going on right now, because all we heard was somebody got stabbed and we're going into lockdown.
Right.
And we're like, okay, so I don't know how many people got stabbed or how many people are doing the stabbing, so we're just we're playing it extra cautious. So we get into the library, and I go to where my table is, and my boyfriend at the time was watching the table for me and was just like, do you have any idea what's going on? I'm like, no, I have no idea what's going on. All I heard was somebody got stabbed, and then we were locked in a room for a while, and they just came and got us. And so and
then of course he's like, and you have a knife out, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, he's used to that. And he was like, I'm surprised you didn't have the taser. And I had the taser in the back pocket, so
that was the backup.
Yeah, that's the backup.
Duh.
It depends what energy they bring at me.
Yeah, right. It's like, maybe I stab them and then I tase them. You don't know.
Yeah. So okay. So Antioch is not one of the. It's not really one of the best places in California to go to. It's gotten from what I've heard, it's gotten a little bit better, but for the longest time, like 80s to like 2000s, Antioch is known to have like a lot of crime and stabbings and stuff like that. So
just a regular day thing.
Yeah, so it's like and every other time that I've done this show, there's never been any issues, because it's at a high school, so this is the first time that there's ever been anything. And I was like, oh man, my dad is not gonna be happy about this. He's never gonna let me go to Antioch again. And
Or anywhere. Just forget like
anywhere.
that convention.
Yeah. So we're all hanging out in the hallway and the library area, and it's staff, students, attendees, and artists and vendors, and we're all just kind of crammed in this area together. And there was one table they were selling like used anime and stuff like that. So
they were gonna say like shivs.
Yeah.
Knives, ammunition.
This would have been a great convention for there to have been a weapons dealer. or not, but
probably not.
Yeah, probably not. So the used anime dealer, they had like an old TV where like it was the one where it had like a DVD player connected to it. So the guy just took one of his like DVDs and was putting in a TV so that there would be anime for people to watch, and like people are just hanging out at all the different tables and stuff. And then some staff and it was a teacher and then like 2 or 3 other students come running into the hallway, and they have one of those not bullhorns, like one of those loudspeaker thingies with the like you yell into the thing.
Yeah, like a blowhorn.
Yeah, like a blowhorn. And so they're talking, they're like, attention everybody, so we are now officially out of the lockdown, and here's what happened. So at the so there was the high school and the middle school, and it's separated by a main road. So what had happened was the event is going on at the high school, and then over at the middle school, this is also on the weekend, so there was no school. At the middle school, there were a group of people just hanging out in the like on the football field or something. Mm-hmm. And there was an altercation where a 16-year-old girl got stabbed. And so the guy that stabbed her was running across the street from the middle school and was trying to cross that main road to get to the high school. So we went into lockdown because they got word that the perpetrator was heading towards the high school. So what happened was, as the stabber, what did we call? We were calling him like Stabby McStabberson.
Yep.
So Stabby McStabberson is trying to cross the main street, and as he's crossing the main road, a car hits him and drives off. So the cops got him. The girl who got stabbed, she got airlifted to the hospital. I ended up seeing an article. She was fine. It wasn't a serious stabbing.
Well, thank God.
Yeah. So she lived, and the other guy got arrested. And so the teacher was explaining all of this to us, and then one of the students is like quickly like smacking their arm, like give me the blowhorn, and this kid gets the blowhorn and says, "It was karma." And then the entire everybody starts laughing, and somebody had a button maker because like 5 seconds later, somebody was walking around passing out Lockdown Con 2015 buttons.
What? That is the fastest turnover I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? So like somebody had brought a button machine and had somehow managed to make like 20 or 30 buttons, and was passing them out to the vendors, but was selling them for $1 to anybody who wanted to buy a commemorative button from Lockdown Con 2015 in Antioch.
Oh my God, that's so. Wait. So like this all sounds like it happened within like 5 minutes, which means you guys probably didn't have to get locked down if the dude got hit by a car.
We found everything out like afterwards, and then I actually found a news article about it later on that said that the girl was fine and everything, and that the guy that did the stabbing got arrested, and that they were looking for a 4-door like Honda Civic or something, because basically the vehicle that hit him. Yeah.
We'd like to give this man the key to the city.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So okay, wait. Let's break it down. So like,
Yes.
a girl gets stabbed at the middle school,
Yes.
and the guy runs towards the high school, but doesn't even make it to the high school because he got hit by a car.
Yes.
But he gets hit by a car, and the person that hit him doesn't stop.
Nope.
So like, who gets charged?
Yeah, it's like, okay, there was a stabbing and then they tried to get away, but then there was a hit and run and they got away. Like, what is the...
Who wins here?
Do they just cancel each other out? Is that like a jail-free card or what?
The cops just kind of wash their hands of it and go, well, no one died, so...
This was just Antioch at work.
Just a typical day here. Wow. My God.
And they had, AsahiCon had many, many other conventions that did not result in stabbings. And their last show was 2019, because they were supposed to have a show in 2020, but the pandemic hit, so they shut down, and I haven't heard anything about them doing any other shows, but yeah, if you're ever in the Antioch area, AsahiCon, it's a really good show. Just 2015 was a little weird.
Yeah, that's wow.
And there's so many layers to that story of just like, we know nothing, and then there's the guy that just, he really wants his lumpia.
I just find it, like I said, like, yes, good to be cautious and everything, but it sounds to me like the car took care of all of your safety, and it didn't need to be a lockdown situation.
I guess.
But, you know.
Yeah, it was like, in retrospect and everything, but it's like, better safe than sorry, but...
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Totally, better safe than sorry, always.
Yeah.
But like, are we mad about this guy lying in the road with 2 broken legs? Like, I think it's all taken care of, guys. Although now that you talk about like turnover for merchandise, so the convention that I worked at in New Hampshire for a million years, the last year that I worked at it, we had moved from a bigger hotel to a smaller hotel. Nothing to do with anybody getting stabbed. This is this is completely merchandise related. But we didn't have enough room in the hotel to have a main event and a hall to have the like dealer's room in. Like, I don't even think they ended up having an artist alley technically that year. They just kind of put the artist alley and the dealers people together outside in a tent.
Oh,
in the parking lot in November.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, in November. Now, like, originally, the, it didn't have any lights, and it didn't have any heat, and it snowed, that weekend.
Oh, boy.
So they had to keep icing the walkway to go out to the tent. But the first day that I was there, because I guess I had been like notified ahead of time, like, hey, you guys, just so you know, you're going to be outside in a tent in November to sell your wares. So people were kind of aware of it. But when we went into the tent, there was a stand that had like buttons and stickers and everything else that they had made. Like, that's what they were selling. And one of their pins was TentCon.
I actually have a TentCon story.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Wait, did you work at TentCon?
No, this is TentCon this was Fanime, I think this was Fanime 2014, 2016. It was 2014 or 2016. No, it was 2014, I believe, because I had only been doing conventions for like a couple of years. So, Fanime in San Jose, California it's a really big show. It is, I want to say Fanime is to California as Anime Boston is to New England.
Okay.
So, Anime Boston is held at the San Jose Convention Center, and during, I believe it was the span of 2012 to 2014, the convention center was getting remodeled. So they were still having Fanime, but, it was, they had to do a lot of reworking. And one of the reworkings that they did was they put the artist alley in a giant tent behind the convention center. Mm-hmm. And this tent was only used, like, I don't believe this tent was, it was only used for, like, swap meets for previous Fanimes, I believe. And this was actually my first time exhibiting at Fanime because I had gone there the year before because some friends had hyped it up. They're like, yeah, Fanimate's one of the best shows ever. You should totally go to it. And so in 2012, they got me a ticket and paid for my hotel so that I could go to Fanime for like a day with them. And it was a lot of fun. I had fun as an attendee. I got to meet a bunch of people and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I think I need to exhibit at this show if it came around again. And
Sure.
so it came around and they're like, hey, so yeah, Artist Alley is actually going to be in a tent. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, that's a little weird, but I'll still exhibit because it's still Fanime. Like, people still go to it and everything. So the tent was it was really big, but it was there was a lot wrong with it. Like the namely the air system is what I remember most, because a lot of artists were talking about how they would come into the Artist Alley and there would be a thick coating of like black soot all over their merchandise and their table. And plushie artists were not happy about that. Because, yeah, that's kind of hard to clean on plushies and things like that.
Yeah.
And people were saying how, because this was when, like, there was an Artist Alley Facebook group for Fanime where all the artists, like, keep in contact and talk about everything that's going on at the show. So there were people posting about how they were having like really bad allergic reactions because of the dust and everything that was in there. And one person I remember was talking about how they had asthma when they were a child, but for the most part, it didn't bother them into adulthood. But because of the soot and dust and everything that was in the tent, they had to get an inhaler to survive the weekend. It was
my God.
Yeah. Oh, and to make it even better, the convention did not put the Artist Alley map or a map of the tent or anything in the program book. So, like, the majority of the convention did not know that there was an Artist Alley because there was also not a lot of signage, even
So,
though
like,
we were
nobody
told
went
there
out
was
to the
a section.
tent.
Yeah, and nobody thought to go to the big tent behind the convention center. So, oh, and my boyfriend at the time was walking around the convention because I was like, hey, you don't have to be behind the table. Like, I can sit here. You can go, like, check out the convention. Go find video games. And so he was walking through the convention, and he asked, like, a couple of different staff members about, like, hey, so what's up with the Artist Alley? And they're like, half the staff didn't even know that there was an Artist Alley.
Oh my God. So that's the only thing. It's like the only thing about ours was, yeah, like you could see the big tent in the parking lot. And when you walked into this hotel, so it was like, I want to say it was a Hilton, but it wasn't like one of those big Hiltons. It literally had like 3 function rooms in it. And then like upstairs was all the hotel rooms, and it had plenty of hotel rooms. But I mean, it wasn't really like a function-based kind of hotel. Like, you had enough room to do like a little small convention, like, you know, like a little small like get together, and then like a big to get together. But it's like the only thing that saved the people out in the tent was the fact that it's like, well, where else could their dealer's room be? It has to be in this big tent that's like right in the parking lot, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that like helped them out. And then I just felt bad too, because again, like I said, it snowed. Like, not a lot. We're not talking like a foot of snow or anything, but it kept dusting snow all over the place, and that would melt. And what would happen when it would melt? It would end up in the tent.
Yep.
It's like, oh my God, you poor people.
Yeah, and I was talking with my roommate because he was talking about how like Fanime got brought up, and he was like, yeah, that was the one Fanime I didn't do, and I was like, oh, that was the first and last Fanime that I did. And he was saying that he had a friend who was exhibiting there whose table was right under like it was either an air conditioning vent or something. It was under something that leaks water, and she came back to her table to find her table just soaked from whatever condensation was coming through that vent. And so I was not the only one who did not have a great time. Mine was mostly because there was not a lot of people knew that there was an Artist Alley, so it was just really slow. and of course having to dust stuff off of my prints and things. But yeah, there were a lot of not very happy artists in there, and on the Facebook groups, they were just like, yeah, no, like if you guys are gonna do this again, Artist Alley does not go in a tent.
Yeah, no. See, now PortCon up there, they have the tent in their parking lot, and that's where they have their big events, and that makes sense to me. Like, I mean, I feel bad for them because they have their big events out there, and they usually have their convention in July, but at least it's Maine, and it's not, like, horribly disgustingly hot, because it's in Portland, so you're getting some of that, like, ocean breeze a little bit coming in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it wouldn't be I mean, it would be, like, warm outside, especially if, like, you're in big costumes and stuff, but come on, if you're at a convention in the middle of summer and you know you're going to be outside in it, like, why would you wear the big, huge, bulky, like, oh my god costume for more than 5 minutes? I mean, that just seems, like, ridiculous to me.
Yeah, especially outside.
But I mean, but they have their main events outside, and it's like, that makes sense to me. Like, have the big main events outside, because then you can, like, come in and out of the tent for, like, masquerades and, like, games and stuff, but...
Heck yeah.
You know, they got the right idea when they decided to put their tent up.
Yeah, and oh man, this last PortCon was so much fun. And
was it good?
Yeah, it was a blast. I can't wait for next year. Our hotel room overlooked the main events tent, so it was kind of great. Like, some people probably didn't like that they could hear the music and everything, but I was loving it because they were playing all the, like, when they did, like, the Saturday night rave, they were playing all the old, well, not old, well, the younger generation would call it old, but to me, it's still, like, the music I've listened to in high school, where, like, they were playing, Butterfly, like, all the DDR music.
Yeah.
So they were playing all that and Crazy Frog and all that stuff, and I could hear it through from the tent in our room, and me and my roommates were just like, oh heck yeah, we get to participate in the rave without going into the tent. So we're having our own little dance party, and we're just dancing to all the rave music at like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Oh my god. The fact that, like, PortCon still has a rave.
Yes.
Do they call it a rave, or is it a dance?
I think they call it a dance, but we all know it's a rave.
It's a rave. It's a rave.
Especially since I saw, like, the raver goths, which I hadn't seen in years.
Yes, they all crawled out from under the bridge.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you just don't see at conventions anymore. And the raver goths, like, I miss them.
I do. I was so excited to see them, like, just peering down from my hotel room, watching all the cosplayers and stuff, and I see raver goths, and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen raver goths in like 10 years. They're still out there.
Maybe that's where they all migrated to, Portland, Maine.
Yeah, just that would make sense. Here we see the wild goth, the raver goth, just out there doing their industrial dances.
This one seems to be doing a mating dance with its light sticks to attract the female species. Let's watch.
Yeah.
Like National Geographics of conventions. That would be
great.
Ever. That would be the best cosplay ever. Melissa, cosplay it with me.
Just go through conventions.
We'll just, like, cosplay Geographic, and we'll make our own like jackets, because, you know, they always wore, like, the nice button-down suit jackets, and we'd have, like, microphones with our own little, like, logo for, like, cosplayer Geographic, and we'll just, like, talk about scenarios as we see them.
That sounds great. I have a camera. I'll just follow around.
Yeah. Yep. And we'll just, like, film it, like, from the different potted plants in the hotel. Hide behind them to watch.
You know, I'm down for this. This sounds fun.
I'm so excited about it. It's happening. That feels like a Dragon Con costume if I've ever heard of one.
Oh, that'd be fun. Dragon Con was this past weekend, right?
It was, yeah.
Patrick was showing us a bunch of pictures and stuff, because we got to meet up for a little bit the past week, and was showing pictures of Dragon Con, and just it very much felt like there was somebody going around just being like, and here we see this cosplay, and oh, here's some Doctor Who cosplayers.
Exactly. It is. And then, well, of course he had to show you his Groot too, right? Obviously.
Oh yeah, I've seen Groot.
Yeah, the dancing Groot. for anybody that doesn't know, and they might have seen it on the internet, because I feel like everybody on the internet saw it. Back when Guardians
Yes,
of the Galaxy came out, there
like
was
first came out.
like first came out, there was a little like homemade potted dancing Groot that like danced around, and it looked like Groot, and everyone like lost their shit about it because it was so cool. And come to find out, that was our dear friend Patrick and Svetlana's handiwork. And
Yep.
because of that tiny dancing little Groot guy, our friend Patrick got to meet James Gunn at Dragon Con because he basically hunted him down and found him. Like, so Patrick's claim to fame.
Look at my dancing Groot.
Look at it, it's beautiful. I mean, to his total merit. I mean, James Gunn friggin' loved the damn thing. So
Yes,
I mean,
and then
who didn't?
yeah, and then apparently they released a dancing Groot like a couple of years later, and Patrick was telling me like it was not great quality. He was like, "Mine looks better."
His did look better. It still does look better. Like, the only thing that kind of rivals his, and it doesn't dance though, are like the Funko Pop ones, because they're so damn adorable. Like, that's pretty much it though. His still wins the dances.
Yeah, I have my sister got me a Groot, like it's like a Groot pot, or not like a pot. So it's like this little shallow pot that you could put like it came with cat grass, and the most important part of it is the center is Groot. And it's just a little plastic Groot. But I refuse to get rid of this thing, even though the pot is not good for growing anything. I refuse to get rid of this Groot because I'm like, one day I will just get a bigger pot with a good plant that goes with Groot. And I'm going to put the Groot pot in this bigger pot so I can actually grow stuff in it.
100%.
But I've yet to find something, because it's kind of sizable. So I would need to get like a 5 or 10 gallon pot for Groot to actually like be happy.
Are you appeased, Groot? Are you happy now?
I need to make Groot happy, and I need to make the plants happy. And so far, the plants have not been happy. Groot just is always happy, but I also got to find like the perfect plant to go with Groot. And it has not been very high on my list. But every time I do like a massive cleaning of any of my stuff, I'm like, do I keep Groot or do I let some fan find him at Savers? I'm keeping Groot.
Yeah, he's staying. It's funny, yesterday came up, my niece's birthday just passed. She just turned 8, but back when she was, I think it was her first birthday. It had to have been her first birthday. They did like a Marvel theme for her first birthday party, because that's how we are. That's how we roll. Like, not your typical, first birthday, but I made cupcakes, and I made little Groot cookies, and I shoved them into the cupcakes.
Ha.
And somewhere in like the masses of my things, I have like a tiny little Groot, like baby Groot, cookie cutter to make cookies.
That is great.
And I just wish I could find it again, because like the holidays are coming up, and I could totally like baby Christmas Groots,
Yeah, my roommate has Portal. They're like Portal cookie cutouts.
Nice.
And so for my 21st birthday, she made me Portal cookies. And just was like, "Here, I didn't get you anything, but I made you cookies." I'm like, "That's just as good."
That's fine.
So I am very easily swayed by food.
Mm-hmm. And I was like friends when they go to like conventions or they go someplace, and I'm just like, "Get me a rock," and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I don't need shiny fancy things. Like, I like anything," and they do. They show up with like the most obscene, like, "Here's your rock." I'm like, "Yes."
Wow factor is important. Like, it doesn't have to be like, if it's not going to be food, make me like question life. Like, give me something that is going to make me stop and think like, what possessed this person to give me this thing?
You're 7 degrees. You're just like, okay, how did we get here? From what did I say did we get to this? But then you put it on your shelf and you're like, I love it.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with it.
I have so many like I have little knickknacks and things that I just refuse to get rid of. I just have a little shelf I'm looking at now that's got so many random things. It's got a peacock feather, an amethyst stone, jade elephant, and there's a plastic goldfish. Like, just so many random things that do not go together, but I'm just looking at like, yes, this shelf makes perfect sense.
I'm sad because right now it's like my room, I have like the essentials in it. I just moved a couple months ago and a lot of my life is still living in a storage unit because we're in the midst of redoing my mom's house right now.
Mm-hmm.
And once we redo our house, like we'll have a sewing room that I can bring more stuff over that I'll have, we'll both have more room.
Hey.
So most of my knickknacks are sitting in like a box somewhere in the dark at the moment, which is kind of sad to think about, but I feel like I'm one of those people that feels like things have feelings.
Same.
I do. I'm sorry. Like, I know that's silly. It's like, I can definitely, like, give things away, no problem. But I feel like as long as the things are in my possession, they have some kind of, like, they have feelings. So, right now I'm looking around and I'm like, well, what do I have for knickknacks here right now? And I have all of my Funko Pops sitting in a box on the floor at the moment, but a couple of them are out. Like right now I have Ghost, Tony, and Morgan chilling on my bookshelf. But speaking of Artist Alley things, I'm looking over at my bureau and I forgot when I emptied my jewelry chest out, I found some Artist Alley things that I picked up because I always make sure whatever convention I go to, I try to buy at least a couple of things from Artist Alley because I want to support the artists. And it was several years ago now and I still have them, but they're these little tiny peoples of like different characters from different movies and animes and things this person made. And they're all made out of clay. And I have a Hellboy, a Tony, and a Loki.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're so damn cute. Like, they don't have arms. And they, they basically have a head. You know what they kind of look like? They kind of look like little, like, chess pieces, almost.
Okay.
Like, because they're just heads and bodies. They don't have arms and legs and stuff. Except the little Hellboy has a cute little tail that wraps around his butt. But, I mean...
Aww.
I know. But it's like, I found them the other day, and I was like, oh, Artist Alley stuff. And I swear to God, I must have... I think I saw her again for the first time in a million years at Anime Boston this year, and I just... The masses of people, you can't get across the crowd sometimes to, like, get to somebody again. But I was like, and it's like... If I can remember what... Like, because, you collect cards. Like, the business cards. You guys always have business cards.
Heck
and you
yeah.
always collect those business cards. You're like, I'm going to find you again on the internet. And I don't remember what her name was. But if you're out there and you listen to this, I want more. I just don't know. I don't know what your Etsy shop is or nothing. And I'm sad. Well, now I'm just sad.
Oh, no, sad.
I'm sad. They're so cute. I'll try to send you a picture of them. They're wicked cute. Maybe you'll recognize them by some miracle and go, hey, I know that person. Because they've also ventured to PortCon or something. Like, somebody help me out here.
Yeah. That's just the tile for this episode. Like, have you seen this artist?
Right.
Oh, by the way, we also talk about somebody who gets, or a convention where somebody got stabbed and like got put into lockdown. But who did this artwork?
All right. The two focal points of this episode are who made D's and you got stabbed. Right here.
I was real worried that that story would not take up a whole lot of time, but we've been able to fill in the time with like so much other amazing topics.
That's what happens. That's what the show is. I tell you, it was funny. Last week's guest Eric, who was talking about like we go through all of like his misfortunes of just wrong place, wrong time, opening mouth, inserting foot kind of situations.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, it's a good episode. You really should listen to it. And everybody should listen to it. And at the end of it, he's just like, "Wow, this was very therapeutic." And I was like, who needs them fancy degrees? I could totally be a good therapist. It's fine. I'm glad you feel better. Oh my goodness. Melissa, thank you so much for emailing me this morning. This has been hilarious. I've enjoyed every second of it, as always.
Thank you for having me.
Gosh. Anytime.
I'll need to see if I have any other stories at some point.
Oh, please. Anytime you've got something, you just send me those cryptic emails and you're in, kid.
And now it's just a goal that any email that I send you now, it's just, okay, how can I make this as cryptic or like eye-opening as possible? Like, this is a goal now.
Yes, thank you. Is there anything you'd like to promote while you are here?
I just finished the my volume 1 of my webcomic Epic Chaos. So I just finished the formatting it for print. So it is now at the printers and I am waiting for the proof and everything. So follow me online because I'll probably be opening up an online store soon, so you can get the volume ones. This book almost killed me. I'm so tired. Like I have exactly one brain cell left, and it is trying its best to make me function.
Run in circles.
Yeah, it's just bouncing around in my head like the Windows save icon.
Floating like a screensaver.
Yes, that is my brain right now. My one brain cell.
Love it. You guys already know I got a book for sale. Please go buy it. Proceeds for it go to help a bunch of different organizations. It's called That Could Have Gone Worse: Life Lessons from a Dinosaur Cosplayer, and I'm already working on a sequel right now. My friend actually told me last night that I sent her one of the best chapters I've ever written on anything, so I don't want to say it's going to be better this time, but that chapter definitely is going to win the internet.
Oh boy, I have that book. I read it. I loved it. I'm trying to get my roommates to read it. I did. I'm gonna need you to sign it. But yes, I can vouch. It's a good book. I enjoyed it greatly, and it gave me the feels a couple of times.
Oh, yay! See, everybody loves a heartwarming story. Ooh, not very heartwarming. Anyways. Guys, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye!